J, counselor. Dr. 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 J, counselor. You matter. You matter. You matter. You matter.
Faith family, this is your boy Dr. J the Counselor, and this is Do I Want to Stay Married? Happy New Year to you, 2021. We have made it, but for all our fallen soldiers, man, and all those who are not here with us, my heart goes out to every family and every loved one. God bless you, and we're praying for you and continue to pray for us. It's an exciting show today, man. It's going to be a hot one. This one is like no other. You know what the young folks say? This is like this fire right here. You know what I mean? Old folks say, man, this is going to be a shindig or whatever they want to call it, but we're going to have a great conversation about a topic that everyone is doing pretty much all around the world, from the White House to the back house to probably your house. But people don't really want to have really deep, in-depth conversation, but it affects us in marriages and relationships every day, even all the way down to political parties. You'll be surprised. But listen, man, this is a hot one today. It's talking about in between the sheets. We're going to unpackage that in a few minutes about what that means. But quite naturally, guys, I'm so excited about this show because it gives you an opportunity. We laugh, we cry, we have deep conversation, but allow you to find yourself somewhere within the storyline and say, you know what? God is able. I'm going to make things better. I'm going to do things different. And it's a new year. So this is a show that's uncensored. We have real conversations, spiritual but relevant. And we're going to make sure that you leave with the tools, man. So, Lady J, it's a hot one today. In between the sheets, sex is an intricate topic because it ultimately doesn't define marriage. It doesn't have to define your relationship. However, the issues that arise from it can affect the relationship. It can affect marriages. The anger, the resentment, the isolation, and ultimately it can lead to divorce. So today, dear, it's a hot one in between the sheets, Lady J. That's my Let's Be Clear Queen. What's going on, girl?
Look, one is Happy New Year's, and we'll dive into this hot, juicy topic, but I want to say happy anniversary to this chocolate drop. 17 years I've celebrated marriage. Don't nobody be laughing like this is my good man. So I'm excited to have this dialogue today. But when I read some of the statistics, Doc, It blew my mind. So I can't wait to dive in and give people real dialogue, uncensored communication, and real good information.
Well, it's going to be a hard one. And the great thing about it, we're very transparent. I'm glad at 17 years I'm still having sex. Thank you, Jesus.
Come on, somebody.
That's just me. I hope that you join in, not with us, but with yourself. You know what I'm saying? But I'm really excited about it. And then quite naturally, man, it's no longer a mystery, guys. We have an amazing Black Book guest that's going to be hot today. Raheem DeVaughn, he is known as the King of Love. We're going to be introducing him today. Got hot things going on, what have you. His music is fire. So, you know what, stay tuned for that. But quite naturally, I'm rolling with the best crew around the world of podcast, TV, and radio, KJLH 102.3. Now, of course, that's the great Stevie Wonders station. I got KD the Voice all the way to ATL by way of Duval County, y'all. If y'all don't know, that's in Florida. What up, man?
What they do, dog. What they do, man. Sex? Really?
They be sexy.
Waiting. We can't wait to bring it to you all kind of ways. Ain't that right, Sheila?
And then quite natural, we got the sophisticated Sheila. So Sheila, man, unmute yourself. Tell the folks, man, what them tribes be talking about these days.
Well, listen, the tribe is on fire right now. They have a lot to say. They've been texting me. Listen, it's going to get a little steamy today. I don't know. Better buckle up, KD. I'm ready for those streets today.
Let's get it.
Well, let me tell you, I know those streets must be talking because on our social media, man, we just really a minute or two in the show, and we already 1,000 followers right now tuning in to the show, man, to talk about some good old sex. And guess what, y'all, what I found out? You know, there's a youth department at the church. I guess somebody having sex at the church house. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? I brought an expert in to really tell us what's been going on in the church house. You know, we can ask the Bishop Duddy Williams, all the way from LA, baby. Bishop, what's going on?
Bless you, bless you. I have some important things I want to share with you about sex. Number one, sex is required by God. It's a commandment of God. Number two, I'm going to explain to you the natural part of sex that will cause a family either stay together or pray together. We'll talk about it later.
See, the good part of it is that what I heard in the, I ain't gonna just say interpretation, this is revelation. Lady J, God wants you to give me more sex. Come on, somebody. Won't he do it? We always let him.
Look here, so Bishop literally, look, all of our followers, y'all can chime in. I can't wait because I want to know how often and how frequent do people have sex? How often and how frequent do people believe that they should be having sex? Doc, I literally read and I said, oh my God, my husband would burn this statistic. They said that most people over the age of 40 are only having sex once or twice a month. And then they said for those who really call themselves frequent flyers, they're having sex once or twice a week.
But look at this right here. Still yet to this day, it's 2021. The statistic still is that a sexless marriage is considered couples who are having sex 10 times a year or less.
Wow.
What have you? Number one of it is most people are shocked that you're only doing it 10 times. But let me be honest with you, two things. Number one is there's people that's literally not having sex at all and still in the relationships and it works for them. So,
right.
But then also you have individuals who don't necessarily qualify for that statistic of what's called sexless marriage by statistics of labeling. However, they're having more sex than 10, but they're still frustrated. What do you do when you don't like the sex that's with your partner? What do you do when it's unpleasing or you're not looking forward to it, or it's painful, or your partner can't perform? I mean, you know, the truth of it is, Lady J and my wonderful team, guys, is that who even taught us about sex? I mean, people are not talking about it.
Oh my
it's
God.
the least thing communicated, but one of the most things done every day.
This
what have
is
you?
so
and people are
good.
not really having dialogue. And we're gonna even have some real conversation because we're gonna talk about orgasm today. Bishop, don't fall out your chair. It's gonna be okay.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Lord.
But we're gonna have some real conversation because somebody got to talk about it. So it might as well be us.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
so listen here. This is live. Oh, do I want to stay married? We're talking about in between the sheets. Doc, you are like hitting all the corners and spaces because you know what? You're absolutely correct. People don't talk about it. And I want to put this out here, and this is not my let's be clear moment. This is a moment of clarity, however, and I know we're going to the streets, but most people fake orgasms. Most people are not real with their spouse or mate, let's be clear, about what it is. Do I feel good? Do I like it when you touch me like this? Do I like it when you kiss me like that? And I do, baby. But most people are not honest.
We talking about sex, baby. I'm Dr. Jenny Counselor Show. Do I want to stay married? We'll be right back.
From the barbershop to the courthouse to in your house.
The voice is giving you the real scoop straight from the street.
I love God, but God is still working on me.
He says he's keeping it 100.
You be the judge.
Here's your boy, KD, representing the people's voice.
Faith family, this is your boy Dr. J, and we are on Do I Want to Stay Married? Dealing with the topic of in between the sheets. Sexual frustrations, the things that's happening in marriages, and I'm going to be honest with you, we ain't going to leave these singles out because people are single out there and got this culture of premarital sex. So they having some sex too, or what have you, and they need to know if you're going to get married or the things that come with having sex, what's really happening in the relationship. So who better to ask? I'm going to go all the way to my homeboy, KD. What's happening now?
Doc, what's going on? Lady J, man, hey, Bishop, Sheila. Woo, this is a hot one, baby. Y'all already know this is your boy, KD the Voice, and I'm going to bring it to you all kind of ways, baby, from the streets. You know, I was in ATL, but I'm back in Duval again, man, for this Happy New Year, and Happy New Year to you all. But sex, Doc, check it out. Now, I got a two-part story to this one here.
All right.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
The fellas in the streets, you know what we say. And I'm going to say because I'm part of this here situation here, I understand it. Sex is definitely a must. Now we're gonna say dealing with marriage. So having sex in a marriage, my situation, don't deny me. Don't say no to me. I want it anytime I want it. I roll over, I want it, and I'm gonna get it. So that's my situation. So when you don't have that situation, then you're gonna have a problem. So that statistic that Lady J just said about what, 1 to 2 times, man, I'm like 5 times a week, you know. Some of my partners out here in the streets, they say they got to have it every day. But this is the thing. I got a situation with a young lady and her husband, right? So y'all got to help me out with this bitch because they want y'all to help him out with this situation. He got diabetes. He got diagnosed with diabetes and he went impotent. So he can't even use Viagra. So, but she said he's good with his mouth. So therefore, what they do, they have another party come in, a guy, to give her, satisfy her in that way, and he continue to satisfy her in the other way. But guess what? They've been doing that for the last 6 years, and they okay with that. Mm-hmm. Can y'all handle that?
Well, listen here. I think we're going to deal with that all kind of ways because, listen,
my God.
you know what, Bishop, first of all, won't you lay out to the people literally, you know, from a Christian perspective, biblical perspective, what's going on in this story and dialogue and what's your input on this one?
Please lay it out, Bishop.
I want to say this. The Bible, God originally told Adam and Eve, he said, be fruitful, multiply, and replenish the earth. That was not a suggestion that they should go plant seeds in the ground. They also should plant seeds in themselves so that they can replenish the earth. So sex is that be fruitful, multiply. It was not something that they just all of a sudden thought of. It was God's commandment to them to go do that. And I try to keep God's commandment at least twice a week. But anyway, the point that I want to share is this with you that's important, that sex is only one part of the relationship. Yeah. It's not the relationship. The relationship is broken up into 3 parts. Sex is one of the 3. The physicalness of sex is necessary in a relationship. It is necessary. Now, I got another part I want to share with you later on, but I'm saying to you now, sex is important. Next is communication. That is important. Sex, communication, and health. Put those 3 right in a marriage and you'll have a good marriage.
Listen, first of all, there's just way too many surprises. I mean, sex is not supposed to be like Cracker Jacks. It's not supposed to be like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. What happened to the interview process? I mean, hey, if all you want to do is hold hands and make out, great. But if you like it a certain kind of way, I agree with Bishop. It is a requirement. But if you have somewhere where you draw the line, it's best to find that out in the beginning. You do not wait and start taking notes and start analyzing and processing your partner in the act or after. You talk about sex, listen, how do you want it? But let's make sure both sides want the same thing. That's from the tribe.
I absolutely love it. And I am absolutely, as everyone knows, chiming in. First of all, the fact that this man is got his wife on house arrest. Turn over when I want you to. Bend over when I want you to. Whenever I want it, you better give it to me. That sounds more like being enslaved than it does a union. Okay?
And KD on social media, Kim said, look, I like sex, but I don't like it on demand. You know what I mean? She put a stop sign emoji, say stop.
Okay.
Stop, Katie, just stop.
Doc.
Tell her to stop.
Doc.
You know what I mean?
But the reality of it is I want to answer his question because you literally, a person who has a sickness or illness, what do? This is what I have to say about this, and I'm down. I believe that there's this thing called a vow, and we're on Do I Want to Stay Married? And the vow had a portion that said for better and for worse. Worse could look like the fact that you can't physically please me, but I can assure you until Jesus comes back, ain't nobody putting nothing near me that ain't you. Do you hear me?
Well, I think one of the discrepancies of it is about the word pleasing, and what have you, and particularly about this physical side of it. With this individual, what I hear that's wrong is that there wasn't necessarily that no physicality could happen. What really needs to happen and what she need to be transparent about is she wanted some penis. She did. She wants penetration. Right. Because the truth of the matter is he couldn't penetrate at least with his penis.
Right.
However,
Right.
he did have his mouth working, which, let's be honest, and let's have a conversation. This is how I know. Don't y'all tense up in here, but this is how I know. We got people in the studio, y'all. This is how I know it's really tight in this, and she's going left on this thing, is because most women don't even orgasm out for penetration. You know what I mean? That's the first thing. What have you? At least 75% of women in the United States do not have an orgasm out of penetration, which means that she's seeking something that she desires, which is ultimately her desire. Don't make that a him thing. Why don't you just tell him that?
Right.
Or what have you? You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So he don't feel devalued or not enough. People do get ill. People do get older. Things do happen in a relationship, but communication don't have to stop. And ultimately, that's the real disease, no communication. I want y'all to understand that there's so many men that are in the world that are under just some extreme pressure.
What
Extreme
pressure are y'all under?
Because most men are under the impression that the sexual experience is not good if you don't orgasm. So many men can't even hardly perform with peace because they're so worried about, if I don't do something right, if I don't do this right, if she don't climax, if she don't have an orgasm, then I'm less than, which then it becomes anxiety, it's stress, and you're trying to perform under that. Now, you do have some alpha males, like I think it's on this show right now, you know what I'm saying, that no pressure at all, sirs, I know, right? But for the average man, they under duress, what have you, even in their sexual experience, or what have you, right? So the truth of the matter is, fellas, please chime in on this. KD, Bishop, what y'all say?
Hey, in the good words of Bernie Mac, I'm gonna get mine. You better get yours. All that.
Wait a minute. See, the Bible says the Bible says that the bed is undefiled. Okay, so what a married couple do in the bed between the sheets, two married people with agreement, that's their relationship. But KD messed up when he brought in the third party. Okay, that is not of God. That is not accepted by God. That third party is the problem. So that was on the issue of that. So I know KD have a comment, so I'm gonna give him time to share it.
No, I just want to say this here to be real now. This is to be real. This is the problem that I think. At the beginning, you know what I'm saying? I tell people this all the time. Man, remain a boyfriend and girlfriend. Stay a boyfriend and girlfriend. When you get married, things change, and it shouldn't. And that's the problem. When you were boyfriend and girlfriends, you used to sneak out. You used to do it in the car. You used to go to the movies and do all kind of stuff crazy. Just experimenting things. But once you get married, then, and this is what somebody said, a lot of stuff just stops. It just changes. And then none of that excitement, none of that sporadic come in. Nobody's spontaneous no more. So it's like, it's just the same old routine, and it get old. So you got to keep it new, keep it fresh every now and then. Once a month, do something crazy that you normally do when you was a boyfriend and girlfriend. When it comes to the sex part is what I'm saying. Keeps the relationship spicy, the marriage spicy. That's just my take on it.
Listen, I think first of all, men, you're way overthinking this. Let me just explain something. See, if you've ever watched a woman in the grocery store pick her fruit, she's picking that fruit, she's smelling it, she's feeling it, she's imagining what she can do with that fruit, how she's going to make something just so palatable that when it comes time to serve that fruit, it's going to be the most amazing experience for that person to enjoy. Men, it's not complicated. Take your time. Ladies, take your time. In between the sheets does not mean that you are sprinting to reach that happy orgasm. No. That might not happen for 4 or 5 hours. That's okay. But you got to learn to kind of come in from the heart and really smell your partner, taste your partner, understand your partner, communicate. The tribe is saying, listen, I'm all for you not being able to perform maybe in a sexual way, but make love to my mind. Blow my mind with affirmation. Tickle my insides with just blowing in my ear. I mean, listen, the tribe, we're some spices. But men, don't make it so complicated. Slow it down. We'll get there. But there's a few things the tribe had to say about it. We want to be talked to. We want that intimate connection to say, hey, I'll give you everything you want, and I'll help you get where you need to be. So we're not rushing this. We're going to take our time and do this right so that you know when to draw the line, where to draw the line. If there's no line and it's a free-for-all, that's fine too. But it all starts in the mind. And listen, you're right, Doc. That big O, that's not a penetration thing. It's all right here. Don't make it too complicated, man.
Girl, don't give them all the tricks of the trades. We'll be right back, y'all. It's our Let's Be Clear.
Let's be clear with Lady J. Lady J. Lady J. Ladies, it's our Let's Be Clear moment. You are amazing. Amazing. You are powerful. Powerful. Let's be clear. You are a daughter of the Most High God. It's your girl, Lady J.
Happy New Year to all my sisters all over the world. Let's be clear. This is my Let's Be Clear moment. I want to put a word in everyone's vocabulary, and it's called being selfless, meaning that you are not selfish, that you are selfless, meaning that you don't have an agenda. I think the biggest concern is that, as someone on our show said, I'm going to get mine, that you have to enter into an adult relationship where the brother's not trying to get his and the sister ain't trying to get hers, but that I'm trying, because every opportunity I'm trying to give him his, and every opportunity he's trying to give me mine. And that's, in my mind, when you have a good, healthy sex life, right? And so my Let's Be Clear moment about in between the sheets is just become selfless and make sure that you please the one that you're with. That's my Let's Be Clear moment.
That was clarity, lady. That was clarity. I think people are literally, they have selfish moments of things of that nature. And literally, I mean, I think you drove it home. If you're in a relationship and on social media, let me hit my single people up, is no, if you're part of that culture who's test driving, well, my thing of it is, if the test drive already go bad, what you think is going to be in the relationship? I mean, if they're selfish in the test drive, they're going to be selfish in the relationship. Bitch, I know you're already praying over there for that culture, man. So we gonna talk about that too, or what have you. But guys, I want to break up the monotony real quick because, you know, this thing has been heavy, and I'm going to give you a little moment to breathe. But I got an amazing individual I want to introduce you to. Every show, I bring on a celebrity Black Book guest. So we're going to go to commercial. But when we return, man, I'm going to introduce you to a jewel to this world who's doing a great work, has a great gift. It's our one and only, man, Black Book guest, Raheem. So stay tuned with us, man. We'll be right back.
Call me if you need someone to talk to. Call me. Satisfaction guaranteed. Call me. We want to know what's going on with you. What's the scoop? Taking it all across the world. We're going into Dr. J's Black Book. It's that time. Dr. J, the counselor, with his featured guest from his Black Book.
Faith family, this is your boy Dr. J, and it's Dr. J the counselor, and this is my Black Book guest time, man. Celebrity guest. Listen, Grammy nominated. He's known to be the king, y'all, of love. Let me tell you something. If you don't know this fella, man, if you ain't rock these joints, listen, I don't know what rock you under, but you better come from up under, because I'm going to tell you, since we talking about sex today, I know for a fact, me and my wife have had a whole lot of sex on this brother music. You know what I'm saying? But he's doing a great work. No treat. Raheem DeVaughn, what's going on, guy?
I'm good. How are you?
We are doing amazing, man. Let me tell you something. We chose you this week is because going into this new year, even amidst the pandemic, not only are you doing a great work, but man, your joints that you've dropped, I mean, has been so powerful and so amazing. And ultimately, we would share with anybody that what the world really needs now is absolutely love. You know what I mean? And that you represent, that you put out, it absolutely just, you fire at the end of the day. So I got a couple questions from social media. I mean, people been hitting up. You got fans. I think you got a couple stalkers too, but I'm going to keep them off you, bro. I got you. I promise you. I will have you. But Raheem, you got this new album that just dropped, What a Time to Be in Love. What was the inspiration behind this album, especially even amidst the pandemic?
I wanted to create a record and a body of work that could be time capsule for this time, during the pandemic, us being in the new millennial civil rights movement. Once again, so much going on in the world, so much going on in life. I wanted to put out a body of work, the time capsule, the celebration of Black love, the celebration of our existence, as kings and gods and goddesses, and just something that when you look back on this time, and as we kick off an entire new decade, you know what I mean, which 2020 has been the beginning of. It'll be something that it's part of my legacy, and people will look back on, the rich legacy of soul music and R&B and the culture, and speak on this album, which is still relatively new, very new. It's only been out for a month. Of course, with the industry shutting down, leading up to the holidays, I'm heavy back on album promo, coming into, 2021, it being 2 days into the new year.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things, since I have you, and I just want to just kind of take a little exit here to talk about it, but because, we in the entertainment industry, and so many individuals, particularly young people, are out there trying to make it in the industry or things of that nature. I think to do my audience justice, so many of them want to know, in this climate now, amidst the pandemic, it's a new year, but how have things changed in the music industry, and is it still a valuable way to go, or how you really feel about that?
The trajectory has changed tremendously, but I think it's very, the future is looking bright. You know what I mean? Like, it's a transition for all of us. I miss performing and connecting with the fans. Not to mention that the money that I've lost and other artists have lost, venues have lost, and in what we now call the brick and mortar era, you know what I mean, and finding new ways to be innovative, and crossing over to the virtual platform performance space is right now with the main goal, just figuring that out and getting an understanding of that and moving forward from it. So again, I'm thankful for I'm thankful for my village, for my flock, of supporters, love Queen Nation. Everybody that supports my music as a whole, virtually and what have you. I recently started I'm building a virtual portal, which will be ready in the next few days. Fingers crossed. And I'll be able to do all the cool things that we're able to do on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and but monetize it. You know what I mean? Like, it'll be subscription based. And it's on a platform called iStar. So for anybody that wants to support, my virtual network and what I'm doing, the Garden of Love is, for everybody that has a passion and a love for slow jams. I do a version of what I guess some might compare it to the Quiet Storm. I'm a lover of slow jams, so that's something that I do. I'll be doing weekly, as well as a show called Woke Wednesdays, which more taps in on the conscious music side of things, and a series of online concerts and pop-up shows and virtual day parties and stuff of that nature. So again, all you have to do is get the iStar app, and it's actually iStar.io /Love King Raheem. That's where you can find me. It's subscription based again. $1.99 a month is all I ask. My goal is to get 50,000 subscribers. At that point, if I can get it there, I mean, the sky's the limit of the things I can do. In celebration of the 50,000 subscribers, I plan to do a recorded album on, using the app, where people can see the behind the scenes of the whole process of making the album, and then we'll put the album there. That's where people can enjoy it.
Well, I'm definitely, endorsing it, because what people got to understand, my friend, is that I think it's unquestionable that you're an amazing artist. You're also a songwriter, but you also have, and it's so many dimensions to you that I appreciate, and I feel like the world needs to as well, and we want to make sure that we pay accolades to it. Is that you also have a foundation that's going. Lay us out about the foundation, man, and how people can get involved in what you're doing with that.
Yeah, so the foundation is called the Love Life Foundation. We've been in existence for some years now. A few of our major initiatives are fighting domestic violence, sex trafficking, and exploitation of children, women, and men. We've been heavy on that campaign. in the fight against that. Feeding the homeless and those are the places is a very big thing right now. There's a lot of food deserts, so we try to provide fresh produce and whatnot in my city, in the DMV area. We also have what's called the Textbook Scholarship Fund, which we provide, supplies and books and supplies for students for their first year of college. We've done that. In fact, 2020 was the only year that we haven't, over the last 5, 6, 7 years now, because of the pandemic. But we are regrouping and preparing for 2021 to be able to do so and pick up where we left off. And one of our most recent partnerships was with the with the AHF, the AIDS Healthcare Foundation, who has been a wonderful sponsor to the Love Life Foundation in the past, as well as KJLH. We've done a few collaborative projects together over the years with those guys.
Absolutely. And then, my last on social media here, which is a hot one, you have on the album, it's this hot song, and I really want to really do an A clause and a B clause. Number one, they want to know what's your musical inspiration and influence, but also to that is you have a song called Mr. Midnight. It's tastefully, it's sensual, and then it's inspired by Black love. What is Mr. Midnight about? What's going on with that?
Mr. Midnight is just like that anthem, man. It's that theme song that, it's the pre-prep. It's like this audio foreplay to kind of set the tone for the night. When you think about midnight and dating, or after date night, if you're in if you have a significant other in your life, or if you're getting adjusted to the new norm or whatever the nightlife is, midnight is typically, it's not too late, but it's not too early. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Raheem. What you're saying is, since my show is about sex, if he need a little help, she need to play this one. That's all.
You know what? Y'all are on fire.
There's a plethora of music from my catalog that provides an audio orgasmic experience. You know what I mean? And this album is no different. It's the perfect balance, like I said, of Black love consciousness, but also intimacy. And I pride myself in, when I make records that speak about sex and intimacy, that is done in a very tasteful and poetic and colorful way, I think that I definitely accomplished that with this album. It's probably, I feel like it's my best album to date, if not one of my, very close, neck and neck with, Love Experience, for example, which was my first body of work that everybody still seems to rave about. This is album number 8,
Yeah, and that was a hot one to beat, but I think you done ran close to it, man. This one right here is a hot one, and that thing is fire, man. Where can people follow you? Those who may not be connected just yet, where can they find you? How can they participate? I know you have your foundation going, but you just dropped this body of work. Where can they cop it from? What's going on with you there?
Well, the album is definitely available on my portal. Again, iStar.io / Love King Raheem is a great place to enjoy my entire catalog of work. Subscribe for $1.99 a day, as well as all the other digital platforms, Spotify and Apple Music, things of that nature. Of course, I'm on social media as well, very engaging. I'm looking to kind of like really move the traffic over as the subscribers tap in with me, on the iStar platform, which is Black owned, by the way. Even down to the server that provides the service for the platform is Black owned. I'm looking to, spend more time on my app, you know what I mean? And as people support, that's where you can find the exclusive content, the music, the old albums, the new albums, new video releases, and stuff of that nature. I'm on Instagram and Twitter at Raheem_DeVaughn, YouTube.com/Raheem DeVaughn, Facebook.com/Raheem DeVaughn, and I'm also on the new Clubhouse app at Raheem DeVaughn.
Well, Raheem, man, on behalf of Dr. J, the counselor, man, this amazing show, Do I Want to Stay Married? And of course, the KJLH 102.3 family, brother. And I think this whole wide world and social media going crazy over here, man. We just want to just greet you in love. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for sharing. We getting that. We flowing with you. We got your back, man. Keep us posted on what you're doing. And, man, you just continue to be blessed and keep moving forward and nowhere, my friend.
Oh, big love and support to you guys. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Blessings.
Bless you.
Bless you to you.
Do you want to own your own restaurant but don't want to do it alone? Do you currently own a restaurant but you're struggling with keeping your doors open? United Franchise, the owners of the award-winning brands Sinorama, Transworld, Accurate Franchising, John Smith Subs with 1,600 locations in over 80 countries, has partnered with Celebrity Soul Food to open the fastest-growing Southern cuisine restaurant chain all around the world. New territories available in a city near you. We're now taking applications for franchise owners. Call now, 310-975-7131, or go to www.celebritiesoulfood.com. Call now, 310-975-7131, or go to www.celebritiesoulfood.com. Call now, 310-975-7131. Ask the Bishop. The Bible says there is great reward in wise counsel. Do you have a question that you yourself can't find in the Word of God about your relationship? It's time to Ask the Bishop.
Faith family, this is your boy Dr. J, Lady J. It's time for Ask That Bishop. Lady J, now we got so many questions come from social media, so what do you want to know from Ask the Bishop?
First of all, everybody is like, can you please bring this into context, please? What does the Bible have to say? This is the question that we brought from Twitter. It said, this person said that, and it's a man this time that we chose. If you have a problem when a man is trying to get he wants to get off, but the woman is not willing to give him sex. He wants to know, how long does he continue to try? So he's trying to get it. She won't give it to him. How long does he continue to try, Bishop?
I think that's an excellent question in a relationship. There's two areas that we're dealing with. One is she able physically, health-wise? That's the first consideration. Is there a health issue? Secondly, is it a refusal? Yeah, she refusing to have sex with him. So you have to I need to know what area we're dealing with. If it's refusal, she don't want to be with him, then she needs some help, meaning communication. We need to talk about it. Because as I said from the beginning, sex is relationship is three parts: sex, health, and communication. That all three of those have to work together. It's like many people think because a woman is faking what they call an orgasm, you know what? Maybe she's doing that for her husband because her husband needs to hear something. He needs to be stimulated in his mind. So she's doing it for him.
Come on, Bishop.
She's faking the relationship. No, she's supporting that man. Because there are times, and this is not me, this is like KD, this is from the street. There are times I want to hear my wife respond in an audible manner to me. That makes me feel better, and it helps me in my mind. So, but how long, the question was, how long can you stay together if they refuse sex? That, if you're married, you're together. That's the purpose of being together. Now, if they go out and have sex with someone else, you can be free. That's your freedom. But otherwise, no, you're committed to the relationship. Now, the other thing is if they have a health problem or sickness or disease, that's something you should consider, and you stay there forever too. You're there. You're in the relationship. Final answer is this. How long shall a man stay or a woman stay with a person if they're not having sex? Because they are married, there is no time zone, period. There is none.
Wow.
You in that relationship.
Kevin, have y'all ever, do you believe in fasting? Look, from says the man who, hey, look here, take it when I want it. Dude, is there any biblical principle, scriptures that you have to support your thesis, sir?
No, ma'am, not at all. So let me just clarify something here, because y'all ain't finna get me all cut up when I get back home and be put on punishment. Now, when I say that...
And won't be getting up for real.
Yeah, okay. Then my wife, there's an understanding.
Yes.
And we're both in that agreement. Like Sheila say, that communication. So the communication is there. That's why I can proudly say, and I'm grateful for her. She respectfully and I respectfully at any time. Anytime. So therefore, and don't get me wrong, I don't be every day, all day long. None of that. I'm just saying, if I wanted to, it's there. And we're both in agreement with that.
So my thing is, what if you do have the agreement, right? But sometimes agreement goes without participation, meaning it's like, hey, it's here for you. You know what I'm saying? Like a pillar, it's here. And anytime you want it, jump on it. You know what I'm saying? Is that really enough? Is that intimacy? Is that going to hold the relationship in that area of sexuality or what have you? Is it just enough to say, as Christian folks said, this is my body, it's yours, here you go, or what have you? You know what I'm saying? Take it when you want it, what have you? Just make sure you give it back to me so I have time to go to sleep and go to work. I mean, what are we doing? I love it. So, Sheila, calling you out. Tribe, I'm calling you out. I ain't saying you're lazy. I ain't saying no gold digger. I'm just saying, is it enough just to lay there and say, hey, here it is for you. I washed it, cleaned it, here you go. Whatever. And would y'all accept that for a man to say, hey, I washed it, cleaned it, I'm tired, here you go. What's up? What the tribe saying? Just saying.
Listen, unless you're talking about my car and the car wash, that's the only thing that needs to be washed up and ready when I'm ready for it. Listen, the tribe and myself, I got to tell you, it takes equal participation. You cannot just lay there, ladies, and expect for your man to know that it's time. Men, you can't just lay there butt naked and think that a woman is just going to be motivated to jump all over you. That's not how that works. Again, starts all here. You got to take your time. And I can tell you this, if you can't find something new about your partner, your husband, your wife, from head to toe, if you have to start all over again from head to toe and find something new, it's like reading the scripture. You might read it one time and you go back and read that same scripture 50 more times and you'll get something different out of it. That is what you bring in between those sheets. You start from head to toe and go toe to head and go again and again and again until you understand the rhythm of what your partner is looking for. Again, it's not complicated, but too many people are in too much of a rush to get in between the sheets. They're too much in a rush to get out of the sheets. Stay there, let it simmer, let it marinate.
The thing is dealing with the church. A lot of people think because a person is a pastor, they don't have sex. Let me tell you something. When I'm at home,
tell them, Bishop.
I chase Pastor Valerie. I chase her around the room, okay? Guilty. I'm there. But like Sheila said, it starts at 8 o'clock in the morning. It don't start at 5 minutes to 8 at night when you hop in the bed. It started at 8 o'clock in the morning. I didn't whisper in her ear because I knew I'd be away for a while. So I just called her up and told her how much I loved her. And I, say a few things and you know how it is. But anyway, the point being, it's an all-day affair. It starts in the morning. In the church, a pastor don't wait to get up in the pulpit to preach. Yeah. He starts the day before and prepare himself to preach. And that's what's important. So when she say from the toes to the head, I understand what she's referring to because it is important. If you don't touch her hands, that's what get to her heart real quick. By holding a woman love her hands to be held. A man, well, anyway, God knows that we, as human beings, have a certain point in our life that we love. And so the physicalness is really important. So, yes, there's a lot of sex in the church. Be it good or bad, it's in the church.
My question is to everyone, and to my social media fan, man, chime in, is why do you guys believe? Because I'm telling you, 99% of the people that come in my office, go through counseling, things of that nature, why is the communicating not happening in relationships, whether prior to or even in the marriage? Sometimes things do change or you do want something different or whatever it is that's on your heart and mind. Why is it that couples have such a hard time talking to one another about sexuality? Do you guys set an atmosphere where your man could come to you and say, you know what, babe, I love you, and this is not nothing towards you in that way, that I this saying I don't love you. It's just that I don't like that. You know what I mean? I like this. Can you really take it? I mean, would you really listen and accept it and don't ain't go putting that on it and we ain't got to hit no neck power and no hand power and nothing extra. And then you ain't gonna take that moment to talk about what we ain't either. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Can you really have adult conversation
But I think
and be that you're Christian or not? Because this show is unbiased.
Right.
We're spiritual, but we're relevant. But there's some people out here ain't rocking Christian. What have you? But you are having sex, so I want you to still get truth. What have you? But then certainly to our Christian people in the faith, what have you? Because we're not talking about sex. What have you? When the last time you came to church and they were talking about sex? So my question is can why? I mean, can you accept that conversation? And I'm coming at the men as well. And this is for Katie and Bishop. How would you take it if your woman came to you and say, hey, listen, boo, you know what I mean? Listen, you're awesome. You're great. This ain't nothing towards your ego, your pride or whatever. But, I just want to tell you about my body. You know what I mean? And I want to show you or touch me here or I need this or I need that. Not just physical, but you know what? Just like you got your ladies just said, is that, okay, if it started before all of that, then are you communicating that? It's boom, before you try to jump all on me tomorrow, can you just leave me a note? Can you call me sometimes? Can you text me something sweet? I need that. Why are we not talking? And can you take the conversation? Real talk. Because we ain't going to be lying today. This ain't no lie today. Because people are divorcing each other. They're not going to call it sex, but they're frustrated. They're isolated. They are holding grudges with each other, resentment towards each other. Do you know this sex thing can mess around and bust hell open for somebody if they don't get their heart right, carrying that stuff in their mess? They are angry and mad. So we can't play with it. People are in their marriages, in their relationships, confessing they know Christ, or things of that nature. And this thing is killing them and eating and eroding away at the love and the trust and everything they've built in their household to end in destruction. Why? Because we didn't talk.
Let me start off with this. We're talking about communication. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And we're talking about the 3 areas of communication. And that is the area of touch.
Yes.
Emotion.
Yes.
And words.
Yes.
Touch, emotions, and words.
Yes.
You can turn your partner off if you say the wrong words to the partner, to your partner. You can turn them off. They be wanting to have sex with you, but you're talking crazy, and therefore they don't want to deal with you after that. Or you can touch them in the wrong manner. Or you can not only get your emotions, you like sex ain't no big deal. So they feel like they're the one pushing the sex on you. So yes, I think that touch, I think those words, and I think your emotions will help you have a better sexual relationship in your communication, because that's what communication is about. Let me tell you something. 40 years of marriage, I have never had to beg for sex. Never. And in the 40 years of marriage, I know that, like I was saying earlier, we need to find something new. Don't just hop in the bed and pull your drawers off, okay? Sometimes you may have to do a little dance before you get in the bed or whatever. But I'm just saying, sex is real and I love it. Go ahead.
All right, KD, coming on over there. What you say?
Yeah, Doc, to the communication part, and when you said can the women handle it or can the men handle it? And I think it's a real touchy subject situation, especially when you're dealing with, we're going to say oral sex. Say the man want to talk to the woman about the oral sex and she's not really doing it or didn't do it as much. Can they handle? Can we go in that conversation and they okay with it, open dialogue, and won't look at us all crazy or all judgmental, like, oh, so why you want me to do that? Because blah, blah, you know what I'm saying? Will we get that type of response from them? That's why I think that they can't really deal with that type of communication. And I'm going to send it to the men as well, the fellas. Same thing. I mean, me personally, I promise you, I communicated for it. I want to know what's making you feel good. I want to know, okay, when I do this, I hear and see you feeling this way, but when I do this, you're not really reacting the same. So I say, is that something you don't like or you don't want me to do or whatever? So I will have that communication because I'm a Scorpio. I want to know if I'm putting it down right.
Listen, I'm going to say this. You got to get a license to carry a gun. You got to have a license to drive. You got license to preach. You got a license to do your hair. Why would you trust your body with someone who hasn't studied it, who hasn't asked the right questions? who hasn't asked you, like, why would I trust this temple to somebody who has not studied what I like and what I don't like? Why would you men trust your heart or your ego to someone who can't pay you a compliment outside of the bedroom?
That's good.
Men want to hear that they are going out there laying it down and bringing it home. And out of all their choices, ladies, it came back to you. So you cannot sit there and lay down in that bed and think he's now supposed to work even harder. No. And men, let me tell you, the women are holding it down. They got your back. But at the end of the day, at the end of whatever sex, lovemaking, and Sis said it well, it is not supposed to be selfish, but selfless. At the end of the day, if you're doing it right, men, if you're doing it right, women, when you come out from in between those sheets, you should feel empowered. You should feel valued. You should feel satisfied. You should feel hungry for the next time.
I know that's right.
We're going to commercial, and obviously when we come back, we're going to hear the Uncensored with none other than your host, Dr. J, the counselor. We'll be right back.
Relationships Uncensored.
You need someone to be brutally honest with you.
Let me tell you something. Dr. J is getting ready to rip the Band-Aid off your relationship and deal with your wounds,
Your disappointments,
your thoughts.
and even your desire to just say quits with your relationship.
Stop lying to your kids.
Stop lying to your mate.
Stop lying to your church.
And more importantly, stop lying to yourself.
Dr. J says what he means.
But know this, he's Dr. J. So he means what he says.
It's that time for Relationships Uncensored.
This is your boy, Dr. J. This is Dr. J, the counselor, Uncensored on Do I Want to Stay Married? This is really something from my heart that I want to share as a tool that we use as counselors and therapists, that we deal with couples every day, that I believe that will ultimately help families and couples all around the world, that I want to share with you today. So just take it, apply it, be very mindful with it, careful with it. You're not trained in it, but do so. Take it as a tool that you just work very precise and very carefully with the person that you're in love with and your significant other. We call it basically a complaint sandwich. It's basically, how do you have a hard conversation with your lover or with your significant other? So the sandwich goes like this. The first thing you put on the sandwich is you have to have the top layer of breading. The top layer of breading, what it represents is that you want to have what I call an ear opener, something that's going to make the person first hear you, be open to hear. So what you want to do with this right here is you want to give the person assurance that you're talking to. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with you, and that you guys are going to be okay. You just want to share from your heart. The second thing you want to do is you want to put meat on it. That's really the serious part of the situation of the sandwich, is because that's the protein, that's the beef. But what you want to use is what's called lean meat. Lean meat. Very lean, very healthy. What makes it healthy? It's because you can't be all over the place. Find one issue. Yes, single it out, isolate it. Then share that one issue or that one scenario. Don't just be messy on the person and lay out 10 and 20 different things, because that's the time you feel like you're just going to share your heart. Find one isolated thing or what have you that the person can understand, and share it carefully so that it be lean so they can digest it. The third and the final is the other side of the bread. Listen, man, that's the part where you want to finally give the assurance that, listen, if we can meet in this place of compromise, these are your rewards. Make a person understand that I'm not going nowhere. I'm not leaving. I'm right here with you. But there's some great reward behind getting this right here resolved and fixed. And I promise you it's going to be an amazing sandwich. The only other things that try to come up sometimes is those condiments. And all I'm simply saying about the condiments, come here, is stop being messy. It's messy. Too much ketchup, too much mustard, too much mayo. What do any of that got to do with just the bread and just the beef? Be precise, be specific, and reach your goal and objective. So that's my Uncensored, dear, is learning how to deal with complaints. If you want to talk to somebody, have a straightforward conversation, but be kind and be mindful.
Look, you heard it directly from your boy, Dr. J, the counselor. Doc, I like it. Yeah. I really do, because I think about it. I know we're getting ready to wrap up. I think about a lot of times you talk about communication. It literally gets all mixed together when you go trying to have a conversation about sex, and then you end up talking about the dog and the kids and the bills. I think you're absolutely correct. You have to isolate it. And you know what? We have to own and get some resolve.
Yes.
I think that that's really what I heard today. It's not just talking about it, but how do we sit in it? How do we communicate? And then more importantly, how do we resolve it?
Man, listen, this is your boy, Dr. J. This has been a hard one. Obviously, we got to have a part 2 because we ain't nowhere near done at all. The only thing I want to leave you with real quick, man, and I want everybody going very quickly, is I love giving tips because people are navigating this world or what have you. I want everybody to think right now so we can share it on social media, so we can share it on the podcast of KJLHradio.com. Please go out, download that podcast. But what is some tips, just one tip that you can share with anyone that is listening to our followers that would help them in a sexless relationship? What is one tip you believe that they could do? We're going to start with KD, the voice. Say your goodbyes, man. And what's one tip you can share with someone that you know that'll help them?
Hey, man, one tip I can share, honestly, is just the original attraction that you met each other on at the beginning. You know, perform that same attraction, and that's going to keep the relationship going on. Because people fall in love or people get attracted for different reasons, motivation by sex, beauty, personality, or whatever. But each spouse must continue to perform that original attraction, or disappointment was set in and possible divorce. So that's my thing.
Sophisticated Sheila, get ready to get out of here with the tribe. What do you say?
Well, listen, I would say this. Do not weaponize sex. Don't do it. People, men, women, don't do that. I mean, seriously, if you're going to use it for weaponry and then try to evoke intimacy, it's never going to work. Use your words, say what you mean, and mean what you say, and then relax and take your time.
Bishop Dunny, what God has to say on that heart, sir?
Yes, sir. What will help every married couple in the sexual relationship? The key thing is that you start early. Don't wait to have sex. Have sex emotionally. Have sex by touching. Have sex by sex. But when you get to the sex part, your emotions, your touching, and your words will have orgasms all day.
Let's be
Lady
clear.
J, say goodbye to your great people, man. And what's that one tip that you can share?
One is Happy New Year again to everybody. And my tip to you is just be honest. At the end of the day, I think, we did a show called Can You Handle the Truth? The reality of it, whether a person can handle it or not, that choice belongs to them. So my tip to you is when it comes to intimacy, just be honest.
Well, listen, man, you heard it. Do I want to stay married, man? It's Dr. J, the counselor. Listen, this has been another hot one between the sheets. We obviously going to do a part 2 because we got some more dialogue. Social media is going crazy. So make sure you follow the show. Go on KJLHradio.com. That's owned by the great Stevie Wonder in L.A. Download the podcast, man. Watch this amazing show over. Share it with someone. But also there's some other hot podcasts on there. There's our different show dynamics and episodes. They're all hot topics. Make sure you tune in, man, because we're going to keep doing it and having great conversation and talking about the things that you really ultimately want to know and discuss. My tip of the day is simply this right here. Not only be transparent, not only be uncensored and live your truth, but ladies, gentlemen, get out of your head and get into your body. God made it, man. Step in it, own it, enjoy it, and it'll serve you well. Be blessed, be well. I'll see you at the top. Keep moving forward. This is your boy, Dr. J. See you next time.
Dr. J, counselor. Dr. J, counselor.